I definitely get like my heart will skip a beat.
I've definitely done that.
Wait, the kicking too?
The kicking? I gotta make sure no one's in that.
More lunch break.
Wow, a full lunch break.
That's
very deep.
Every time it's all guys, we always say that. Lunch break.
Welcome back to another episode of Lunch Break.
And another one brought to you by Squarespace.
Yes, if you guys are trying to start a new website or an online store, make it with Squarespace. We did the same thing, and our website is great. Today, we thought we would turn to a popular type of video that we made on Lunch Break before.
Yep.
And we're gonna answer some questions that ladies have for dudes.
Yeah, we reached out on Instagram.
Is that how we wanted it? Ladies are the one for dudes. Girls have questions about guys. Guys, answer them. We did it before. There was a really good response to it, and there's more questions. A lot of y'all are wondering things about us.
And I think we've grown a lot as individuals in the last, year or so.
When was the last one? Was it?
I think it was like
2 years ago? All right, yeah. Oh my gosh, I just know so much more
about men.
about
And women.
And to preface, this is our take on these questions from our perspectives.
We're not speaking for all men.
Yeah.
This is not a very diverse sample set, but if you're wondering what the Wong Fu guys think, let's jump in.
So we reached out on Instagram for a bunch of questions. We got a huge list, but we've narrowed it down to the top questions.
And some submitted from the Wong Fu girls here as well.
Why do guys feel such pride in their farts?
I don't have that much pride. Wait, do you guys have pride?
What is pride?
It comes from first stage being ashamed and then kind of empowerment through it. Being like, you know what? Why am I ashamed of my farts? I have nothing to be ashamed about.
I think it starts as kids.
Yeah.
Dwelling humor is always like the first thing that kids find funny. When you realize that you can do it and you think you're funny, and then you start messing around.
I mean, it comes with like societal gender norms, because among kids, girls don't feel like that's proper to have bathroom humor.
It's reinforced over time.
Over time, yeah.
I don't know if that's true. I feel like when girls are together, they fart too.
Yeah, but in public, they wouldn't say it. I think with men.
No, men don't fart in public either.
No, men don't fart, but men are okay talking about it.
Oh,
more
I see.
in public.
Sure.
Here's what I think of with farting. I think it's because there's a level playing field across the entire gender, right?
Okay.
There's no height, there's no strength involved, there's no endurance. It's just straight up your fart versus my fart.
And I think that's versus thing.
I don't know.
It's a power play.
Why
Like once you fart, you have control over the room.
Yeah.
It's like
And
an
I
alpha.
just dictated your emotion by my bodily function.
I'll admit, actually, when I was a kid, had a really good core group of friends that we always had sleepovers. And we actually started a club based on our farting abilities.
If you start a club, you have pride.
We called it the gas grenades.
No.
I swear to God. And you know what it also was? Is we knew that it annoyed our sisters, who we had sleepovers at the same
It
time.
leaked between the walls.
No, but we knew that they would go, ew, and then I think at that age when you're trying to annoy your siblings and stuff, we even made membership cards and gave each other names and we named our farts, yeah.
Wow.
So my name was Supernova.
This question got so intense.
When Helen started farting around me, she's very proud of her farts. So I think this is not just a male thing. Maybe it does come from liberation. So once you know that you can, then it's just kind of funny how I look at what my body just did. Her farts are crazy, guys.
I think if anything, women should be more proud of their farts.
Oh, it depends on comfort level, but it also depends on their individual sensibility. But I mean, I think farting is a natural part of relationships.
Okay. We can all comment on this.
Yeah,
Do you fart in front of your girlfriends?
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
All right.
I thought we were all gonna fart.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Do your girlfriends fart in front of you? 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Classic question.
We didn't answer this on the last one.
Try to explain what being kicked in the balls is like.
I've had a tap
I've
here and there.
taken some into the nuts.
It doesn't take much for it to be very painful. First thing I think of is losing breath and not being able to breathe.
It's like getting the wind knocked out of you a little bit.
But I think that's a side effect of whatever goes down there.
It almost feels like a vacuum.
But it's a sharp, acute, very short, brief moment, but it has a long-lasting.
Does this word make sense? It has an echo.
Yes.
It goes throughout your entire body.
Yeah, there's a
does.
reverberation.
The density of neural endings on your balls are astronomical.
Astronomical. Facts.
That's why he sees stars when it happens. How different is it from getting just punched in the gut? Like if you explain to a girl, imagine getting punched, it's like that. I feel like that punching
I
is
feel like
more
I'd
of a
rather get
full
punched.
feeling.
I'd rather get punched.
Really?
really get punched in the gut too.
Yeah.
Because if you're punched in the gut, it's localized to that area. But I think if you're hitting the nuts,
It's like nerve.
I think you feel it mentally too. You're like,
I was gonna say, I feel like there's a more, for me, like a psychological effect where I'm like, oh my God, I hope nothing's damaged.
well, here's something to think about. You know, when you get punched in the gut, you think, thank God it wasn't my nuts.
You never say, "Oh God, who was it?"
They missed. Yes. Next question.
How do guys feel when their girlfriend or female friends are on their period? What do they do?
I think it's just a natural part of the body. I don't feel weirded out or.
I never really felt that weird about it. I think because I learned very young that this is just something that girls go through.
well, you guys had sisters,
Oh,
so you guys kind of grew up
Yeah.
with it.
What's your take?
I don't know. I'm still confused about it because like I know like girls can take like Advil and like medicine. And,
That's
like,
just
it helps.
That's just to help with the pain. But are you
Yeah.
confused about the actual
Well, I guess
menstruation?
I'm confused about what can I do to help.
Oh.
But then like it's also like, oh, it's not your place to offer that.
There's nothing.
So it's confusing.
I think that's why. So yeah. So I think for me, if I know that someone, or especially like Helen, is like on her period, like I will understand if she is being short, and in some ways, if there is a confrontation, I will bite the bullet a little bit, but I will also like try to avoid things. Also,
That might
Yeah.
cross that line.
I just try to make sure that like I'm like, oh, do you want me to carry like a pad or something? Like, or, like do you need me if you don't want to have a bag or something?
I
Well,
see.
be mindful of like, oh, like there's probably a bathroom.
wow,
there.
wow, the girls are.
But that's
clapping for
all.
you
That's
over
like
there.
the limit. It's like I'm like, oh, like do you have you checked it or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because we also don't want to impose like we know what it is.
Yeah, I don't really. I think
Yeah.
growing up, I just like thought it was like a secret that like girls didn't want us to be a part of, because they would go up to like teachers and be like, pss, 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 and then someone would be like, oh, they had their period, and I'd be like, oh, are we not supposed to know or talk about this? Or even my sister, like they wouldn't like. It wouldn't be like this a family announcement.
But I guess like what made it taboo though?
I mean,
like
there's,
both
there's a
ways.
long history of
Yeah,
just
it's
society
true.
like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like
That's true.
putting women down. Yeah, I don't get when guys are embarrassed to like go buy feminine products. Or you see that in comedy a lot, or like
Yeah.
in
There's a
jokes.
freaking aisle.
Yeah, and I'm just like, who cares? Like, it's just like buying toilet paper or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's not a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal. And I would encourage any guys watching not to make it a big deal. If a girl, female friend, or your girlfriend does share that with you, like that's them also trusting you and getting more comfortable with you. I actually think just like farting, it's like leveling up. Like you're reaching that next stage of a relationship.
We are not comparing farting to periods. All right, working our way down. If a girl asked you out, how would you want to be asked out?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if a girl asked me out when I was single. Has a girl ever asked you guys out?
Yes.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
And this
Once, only once.
and this is why I would actually say to you when you say, "Oh, it'd be nice," because I think a lot of guys say that they're like, "Oh yeah, girls should do this."
I don't think it should. There's already an acknowledgement that that's not the norm.
You're right.
For them to do that is men taking it on themselves. Like they're so interested in you guys. They're acknowledging like, oh, I don't have to. I'm not gonna wait for them to do anything.
Yeah.
Also, that as a
Yeah.
personality trait, you kind of like you would like
That's a
value
strong
that, yeah.
thing. I think that even for anyone to ask me, I think it's like, oh, like, or to do it properly and stuff, it takes a lot of courage.
So the only reason why I would like push back on the fantasy of if only girls would ask guys out is what you have to then deal with is when girls that you don't like ask you out
And then you have to, how do you say no?
how do you say no or how do you respond? And I think that's
Maybe
that's what girls have to deal with
Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah.
So even in this context, is a girl that we wish would ask us out,
Asking us
do
out.
we like them?
Yeah, let's skip to that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's different situations to be asked out. That's right. So like obviously, if a girl liked us and they asked us out, the fact that they're asking is already what we wanted.
Right. So I think it doesn't matter what's
Let's,
how they do it.
let's eliminate
Yeah,
that
There would be
one.
definitely a level of surprise.
I mean, in modern dating these days, yeah, like would it just be like them initiating on an app or just being like, hey, like why don't we go grab a bite? Like, does that count? Because I feel like this isn't that complicated. It's just like how would we like to be asked out? Just like a normal? Like, do
Yeah.
we need flowers? Do we need fireworks? I don't know.
I think like just like making it like, hey, like well, let's get one-on-one.
Yeah.
And then
Just
getting
initiating.
coffee.
I think
Yeah.
just initiating in general.
Yeah. I think whenever someone goes like, hey, I like you, and Do you want to go out sometime? It's kind of like, no, you don't have to treat it like that. Let's go out.
But some people do need to clarify the intentions of the hangout, otherwise it would be misconstrued as, oh, this is just a friend that's hanging out. How do I know that she liked me? I've heard so many stories, I've been in them myself too, where it's like, oh yeah, I thought we were hanging out, I thought we totally liked each other. Oh no, like we were just being friends, you know?
There's a lot to talk about when it comes to dating. I've come to realize that people don't like when people are direct.
Oh, is that modern times
Is that a
now?
2020 thing?
No, okay, it's more that
makes
like,
them
I think
uncomfortable.
people don't know what they want. Even the guys people that are asking someone out, there's like benefit from having a period of you guys figuring out together to get to the point where you can be a little bit more
Have the DTR.
DTR.
Got it.
And then it's how you handle DTRs that I think we have to.
So
learn a lot about.
maybe that's what it is like.
Yeah.
We're at the DTR point. It's like, how do you want them to approach, or them admitting or revealing that they are interested in you?
That's a tough question.
That depends on everyone, right? That depends on
Yeah.
the relationship.
And maybe the situation. Yeah.
I would say though, just generally speaking, ladies, don't feel afraid to do it. In any like courting situation, it's always obviously better when you know what the other person's intentions or feelings are. So try to at least do your best to obtain that information so that when you do ask them out or do have the DTR, it's less of a guessing game and less of this like holy shit moment. And it's more just like, hey, we're gonna finally talk about this thing that we've both been beating around the bush. And I think that's actually kind of fun.
You know what? Great hints to show that you're interested are like compliments. If a girl will start to like saying like
that's a good advice,
really
yeah.
like direct compliments of like, oh, actually, like you're really cute in that, or like
That's pretty
oh, like,
direct.
Or
really
they
funny.
keep touching you.
Yeah, physical touch.
Physical contact is huge.
But
Yeah.
if they keep doing that, but then there is no, like, oh, I'm not really into you. Then
That's
like,
messed up. Then that's messed up on them. But I definitely like when girls would start like, grazing. Grazing is a great way to start.
Grazing and gazing.
I think the thing is guys just by default just might not have the confidence that the girl that they likes them, so that it gets misconstrued as like they're being thick. But they're actually just like hedging, their feelings. They're like, oh, I'm not going to assume anything because she probably doesn't.
I think there's miscommunication both ways for sure. Yeah, I think sometimes people think they're giving hints and they're not strong enough hints for sure. So I know there's some gray area there. Jen asked us a question.
Do guys act like this when a cute girl texts them?
Let's watch the video for context.
This is a scene from a K-drama.
Got it.
He smiled and kicked his feet.
And pointing his toes. Can she be
Can she
real?
be real?
How can she knock me out with a smile?
잘 자요 민민.
아 미정 자야지. 아 빨리 자야지.
He's like losing his breath.
꿈 메고 지금.
As if I want to dream about her.
잘 자요 민민.
I don't think I've never kicked my bed like that.
No.
한 번만 더 보고 자자.
Let me look at it one last time. He's speaking through all his thoughts.
I can see why that like is cute.
I can see also why girls want to believe that happens. You want to believe that
Who's the screenwriter?
that a guy that you could have that kind of effect on a guy.
A guy that
I mean,
attractive
like I
to-
smile.
That attractive to yeah.
Smile, laugh.
I feel kind of good. I don't know if I'd do that.
I definitely get like my heart will skip a beat.
I've definitely done that.
Wait, the kicking too?
the kicking?
It really depends. Like,
you hurt
if
yourself?
no one's. I gotta make sure no one's in that. 'Cause if it's by myself, not like saying, "Oh, she's so cute," and like speaking through every thought, but be like, "Woo," or something like that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Actually, with a friend,
High five.
it'd be like, "Dude."
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And then they'll like reciprocate, "Yeah," and then we're like, "Yeah," and then
No words, just sounds over here.
make a little.
Yeah, when you're with your friends,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
I definitely do like if I hear any notification, I'll like run over, and then when it's not her, I'll be like really sad, and I'll just keep checking. I'll just keep checking.
Okay, but internally, do you feel that way?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Dude, that's validation. That's affirmation.
Even the slapping thing, I do that internally. I'd be like, "No, shake it off. Come on, get back into it."
I definitely have done the. Let me look one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me look at it.
And all the Korean words pop up too.
How do you guys feel about guys portrayed in rom-coms and the expectations of men to act the same? What are the tropes that men...
I think the tropes are guys, reckless guy, does something that he thinks he'll get away with, gets caught,
Yeah.
asks for forgiveness. She says no. He's heartbroken.
Because he wasn't ready to actually grow yet.
Right.
Okay.
Learns something through a conversation with his dad, or something, or
all of
some
Act Two.
another
All of
bad
Act
thing.
Two.
some stage, yeah.
All of Act Two.
And then comes back with a big romantic gesture that she just can't say no
and then
to.
they embrace.
It also depends on who's the protagonist. Because I feel like I've seen rom-coms with the female protagonists. They also have like the portrayal of like she's on a relationship, the guy cheats on her, he's like an asshole.
Oh,
she
then
has
she
to
ends
fix
up
her
with-
life. There's this guy that is just there the whole time, and like through her
best friend,
trials and
yeah.
tribulations,
Right.
they
You're
end up
right.
hitting it off.
Rom-coms definitely are evolving in terms of the tropes.
Yeah, but that one, I think both are like you see a lot, right?
I feel more pressure just from not even how they're portrayed in rom-coms. I'm just like how they're just portrayed. If there's like hot guys, it's like, oh, I'm supposed to look like that. I'm supposed to look like, well put together, well built.
I think it also depends on like what time in your life you're watching this. If you're like, going through like puberty, I can see like it like affecting them.
You're right.
As you get older, then it's just a movie
Or maybe
or a TV show.
Maybe we are already brainwashed because we watched all the Disney movies and,
now
all
this
of
is
that.
what we look like?
And so now we're just like, oh yeah, like we're supposed to be the strong and leaders and providers and stuff,
It's kind of like the 500 Days of Summer like conversation about Tom's character. A lot of people see that movie as like Tom in the beginning of the movie is validating guys that are like that, when the true intention of that movie is to like show that this guy is like super flawed at the beginning, like kind of like a
And like his
anti-hero.
expectations.
Right. It's shitting commentary on that. I think that is the problem, is when people misconstrue like really, really flawed and kind of bad character like Tom as like validation for how they feel in the world.
Basically, I think it's a matter of like of men thinking that they're the protagonists, and women are there to like make them, become
Something.
something or better or whatever.
Yeah.
Like a sense of entitlement.
A little bit, yeah. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned over the course of various relationships, is I think people in general want to believe that they're the protagonist in their story, and the other person is either messing things up, not doing it the way that they want for their narrative. And then you have to remind yourself that you're a human and character in their story too. And so once you like figure that out, you have to learn to know when to take like a back seat sometimes.
I don't think your journey or your growth should be dictated by someone else like coming into your life. I think that's one of the problems with rom-coms.
That's true.
It's usually like this new person that came and changed me, and now I'm like I needed them to like
Validate.
Yeah.
to be a better person.
Oh yeah.
It's funny because the question was intentionally supposed to be like, how like in rom-coms, guys are seen as like super romantic and have to do like big gesture things. Do you feel pressured that when you show like affection to girls, you have to like match that?
Honestly, then I think I did. I was like those big gestures. At least when I was younger, I was like, oh yeah, like I got to do all these things because that's what I saw in the teen movies and
So
yeah.
we were influenced by
Yeah, for
based
sure.
on like.
At least when I was
especially
younger.
I think it has to do with like the time of our lives at the time.
I definitely always wanted to run to a train station or airport to like stop someone.
Yeah. Or hold a boom box up.
And then cell phones were invented.
I always wanted like I hope she lives on the second floor of a house, so
Oh,
I can throw those pebbles, baby.
That is something too where it's like when you realize that you're living in a movie moment, that's something that I would always enjoy. I would like zoom out of like something that I would be doing with a girl.
You climbed out of windows.
No, I did.
Yeah.
I did climb out of windows. I've hid under beds.
What?
Oh, that's a different story. I held up signs. I tried to actually like create those moments in my life too. So like, I guess I was.
You lived a movie.
Now I'm less affected by the moments, and now I'm just affected. Oh, I have to look like Michael B. Jordan's like abs and shit.
Well, do you have a response to all the comments about your engagement video of like, is this the bar now that feels set?
I hope not. I hope people don't look at Wong Fu as this like.
As like a template.
Yeah, I actually think most of Wong Fu has shown how like non-glamorous love is. Most people, I think that if you really did a deep dive in like our work, it's like mostly like more real, I would say.
Because you've done it yourself.
Oh yeah, I did it. So I'm like, this isn't real, guys. Don't do those things.
All right, that's all the time we have for questions. There were a lot more, so thank you guys for submitting.
We spent way too much time talking about farts. I feel like people want to know more about like the relationship stuff. But farts are
They are a big part of
Relationships. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys like this type of episode, you want to see us answer more questions and the deeper ones, leave in the comments below. Maybe ask some more questions.
And special thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video.
Squarespace is an amazing platform for you to build websites, stores, create URLs, and just create online. We made our website with Squarespace. I've been using Squarespace for a lot of other things as well, so check them out.
And there are great tools on there, like for SEOs and tracking where your traffic is coming from, and also connecting to all your other social media platforms.
We'll leave the links down below.
For 10% off your first purchase at Squarespace, go to squarespace.com/wongfu and we'll hook it up.
See you guys next week.
Bye.